What's going on, Chicago? On phone. Hey, move over, Stacey King, man. How y'all doing this fine? What the hell is today? Tuesday. How y'all doing on this fine Tuesday, man? Today we are joined by some OGs in the community, man. We got Matt Peck with us from CHGO. My boy Alejandro AD with the new name, Soy Alejandro D now. So we got a new Twitter name. Y'all got to get in tune. Joe Peppers and Kurtz. Our guy Mike couldn't make it tonight, but we'll be back on Sunday. He'll be here then. And then shout out to Zachary Drapes. He couldn't make it today either, so shout out to him as well. But boys, how are we feeling?
What's good?
How you feeling, Kurtz?
I'm feeling good. Glad to be back. It's been a couple weeks, but let's get back to it.
Absolutely. AD, how you feeling, man?
Good. A little on shift, but it's okay. It's over with now. We're here.
I feel that. Peck, how you feeling, man?
Guilty. I'm good, man. It had myself a Memorial Day weekend, let me tell you.
I feel that.
when that Chicago sunshine hits and your team jumped up in the lottery and everything coming up Millhouse, ooh, what a weekend it was. And pleased to be here with all of you gentlemen. And Guilty, as always, appreciate the invite and the love, my man.
Absolutely. So like we talked about, guys, before we started, we're going to deep dive here. We want to know, Peck just kind of informed there's a new word going around now. It's not pessimism anymore. We're all optimistic about this future of the franchise, I believe. But apparently there's a new word going around called Peckimism. So with that being said, Peck, who is Matt Peck? You know, like where did your fandom start? What got you into the team? Obviously you got to see the amazing glory days, but like who is Matt Peck?
Well, people are here to talk Bulls, so I'll try and make this brief. I don't think anybody cares particularly. But first of all,
I care.
The funny thing is, I'm actually a mega optimist, just like in my general outlook on life. You know, when my brain steps out of that hardwood space, metaphorically speaking, and I'm no longer a Bulls fan, I live a very happy, unbothered life in a lot of ways. I have great family members I love who lift me up. I have great friends who I love who do the same. I try to do the same for them. And being a sports fan is absolutely a huge part of my life, and now has become also what I do for a living. So sometimes, if the going gets tough and things are looking dark and that tunnel doesn't have a light at the end of it, you know, it can get a little bleak. You always try and be, thinking big picture. You know, just because I'm a sad Bulls fan doesn't mean I'm a sad everything else every day. I think not a lot of people, but I think some people think that. But yeah, I mean, short story. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, and I grew up in the 90s. So de facto, default, obsessive Michael Jordan and / Bulls fan throughout my childhood, watching them win championship after championship. Fell in love with Dennis Rodman when they acquired him via trade. Shout out to our guy Will Perdue. He made the sacrifice, brought in that Mr. Steve Dennis Rodman for the second three-peat. Hey, man, Purdue got that fourth ring himself, so no slouch. But you know, throughout my life, adolescence, college, you know, my early 20s when I was bouncing around the country, living in different cities, doing different things. The thing that always connected me back to home if I was away from home, and always is a deep-rooted part of who I am, is a Chicago sports fan. And chasing the greatness of that childhood that I will likely never get back. I mean, watching the Hawks win 3 cups in the span of 6 years was incredible. Watching the Cubs finally break that curse and win it all in 2016, incredible. But I've dedicated the better part of the last decade of my life talking specifically about Chicago's Bulls basketball because they were my first and truest, still to this day, love. Absolutely. And in the last decade, I mean, raise your hand if you as a Bulls fan have been okay with the product on the floor for the last decade, because I haven't. So that pretty much brings us up to the present day. But hey, as I said, things are looking up.
Absolutely, man. We're honored to have you here. And to our new guy on the panel today, Alejandro. We're gonna put you on the main stage real quick, man. How you doing? Like, tell us who is Alejandro D? You know,
that's a loaded question. Alejandro Delgado. I'm a lot of things. I love movies. I love the Bulls. Like any films, I like. It's just a good story. There's a story to be found. I feel like in basketball, there's always a story. With off court, with the play, it intertwines with what you see on the court. Same thing goes for any film you watch. any like minute detail, I just cling on to it, and then like you see it later. Like whenever I watch movies with my friends or family, they get mad if I like say, "Oh, this is gonna happen later."
Same. Do you pause it a million times and then like, oh, so this is how I feel about this? Then you got to rewind it. I do that a lot.
No, I think with a movie I've seen before, yes.
Right.
But like a new one, I'm like, nah, we got to be quiet. Everyone shut up. You're going to talk. I need you out of here.
Hey, I feel that. I just went to go see Obsession like 2 days ago. A complete mind fuck, by the way. Sorry, Ron.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's the only word I have for it. Yeah, man. It tore me up, dog. I was literally in the movie theater. Yeah. Remember that scary movie when he was in there, the Wayans brother was in that trip and talking about, run, bitch, he gonna kill you. That was like, that was me. And I'm in Naperville at this movie theater. So like, there's like moms like covering their daughter's ears, like,
oh
okay.
no,
mommy, who's that man? Who's that scary man? I'm like, no, the scary nigga's on the TV screen. But anyway. So, yeah. But that leads into like, so how'd you get into the Bulls, AD? Because I know like you brought me on. Shout out to Bulls on Tap. Like you brought me on. That's where my whole content coverage started, was with you. And like, so like, what got you into the Bulls?
So what first got me into the Bulls, like my first ever memory watching the Bulls, was Kyle Korver. Korver, just seeing him run, catch and shoot three. Amazing thing. Most amazing thing I saw. We had D-Rose. Yes. Just something about, I'm like, who is this? No one else is doing this. Looking at my dad, I'm like, what? Like, he's the only one like really doing this. Yeah. He's like, yeah, that's what he does. From there, it was history. Then like, boom, I think, what was it? I go off to 2020. I start like actually getting more into like Twitter and like Bulls content, because I didn't really see any growing up. Like in my generation in Chicago, we were all on Facebook. Right. So I'm like, Twitter, what is that? What's Twitter? I go on, I'm like getting more into everything. I see, Matt Pad with Dave, Hayes, Jamal on Bull Central. Yeah. And then from there, I just get more into it. And then shout out to Morris. He was the one that put me on to Bulls on Tap. Writing,
I just you did always tell me that, actually.
He was the one that like said, okay, this is what we should be doing. This is how you should do it. Like super, super smart guy. Like amazing.
Absolutely.
And then I learned more, because I think I would watch shows and I'm like, why don't they say this? I'm like, I'm not going to comment that. That's stupid. Like, why am I going to tell them what to say?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, maybe I should start, doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And then
you do a damn good job.
Thank you. And then now here we are. Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no. I'm gonna start a couple new projects in the.
Oh, you're gonna drop it? Let's go, baby. Talk to him.
I'm not. Let's see. I'm not gonna drop it just yet. I'm gonna hint at it. There's two things I'm working on. I've been putting off for far too long, and I'm very excited. Like I've really just the past week, I've just invested all my time into just working on it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was blessed to see like a couple of the previews of what he's got. I'm telling y'all, it's about to be cold. Like I'm not even trying to over it. It's cool. It's some cool shit, dude. Like AD is super creative, so like I'm looking forward to it.
Can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, now that we're talking about like how everybody got into the Bulls, let's talk about the playoffs. And Joe Pepperidge, before we started the show, he said he wanted to talk about the playoffs and ask you, Peck, like how do you feel about what you're seeing in the playoffs and how the Bulls kind of measure up and like what they have to do to get to the level of these guys in the playoffs. So Joe, I'll let you steer the ship here.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting if you think about it too. Like Matt, I don't know I was born in the 70s, and so like I saw us lose to Detroit, and then overcome Detroit, and then Jordan leave and come back, and then so everything that you all have experienced was like it just was very different. And so what's interesting about that is like, and we've talked about this on the show before, is I mean you can make an argument that Krause is probably the best front office guy the Chicago sports has ever had. And he knew how to build a team. He knew you needed a finisher and a scorer. And Michael, he obviously had that. He inherited that, and he got a bat. He got a Robin and Scotty, and then he got the workhorse and Horace and Dennis, and then built the team out. And for the first time in a long time, and I was really optimistic when John Paxson took over, and he didn't let us down. I mean, he started out well. Luol Deng, Ben Gordon. I think he drafted Kirk because Jay Williams had got hurt in the motorcycle accident. And then he had a good couple years. And then obviously when Foreman took over, it was awful. And then the AK nightmare. And so I feel very optimistic about Graham because he's sort of, as Guilty has said before, he's one of us. But I also think that, meaning he's sort of a hooper. He's just sort of a modern day hooper. He understands. But I also think we're in this really weird, like, new era of NBA basketball. So you got basically OKC and the Spurs have built a new template. And I will never say that I'm like pro tanking, but I've come around. I've come around. I've come a long way, Matt. So
shit.
I think
what pick was Wemby? What pick was Wemby?
Exactly. And so
what pick was Dylan Harper?
Too, right?
Jokic was picked in the second round.
You know what caused it? Envy, jealousy. That's what really like drove it. Like I'm looking at all these rosters.
Right.
What is happening? So
what was that movie, Pepper? Was that Paid in Full when he was riding by? He said, "I don't like that, eating that banana and shit." That's how you watching the playoffs right now.
I'm like,
I don't like that.
Fuck that, man. This is not. This can't stand. So now you understand. So Matt, now here we are. We're in the Wemby era, which is really interesting. I think the Knicks remind me of the Isaiah Thomas Pistons. So they might get, maybe they can sneak one in, maybe. But it does seem like it's a new era. And in that new era, we also come into this new Bulls era. And it feels like we have a real chance to do things in a way that, we can all honor as Bulls fans, regardless of sort of where we are on the spectrum of how to build a team, whether it's like the way the New York Knicks have done it or OKC and the Spurs. So how's it feeling to sort of experience this the last couple months as a fan and as a media member? And like, how are you feeling about the hire so far?
Yeah, I mean, I am also cautiously optimistic about Bryson Graham, while also being realistic in saying there is no way yet any of us can know if he is going to do a great job, a good job, an only okay job, or a bad job. This dude is 39 years old and taking the big boy chair for the first time in his career and inheriting a situation that, yes, there are some pros, clean books, maybe an interesting or two piece of young talent that's already on the roster that he's inherited. Shout out Jerry Krause. He was a great exec. He was born on third base as an NBA executive. Oh, Michael Jordan's already on our team? Great. I could work with that. And while not necessarily having an abundance of future draft capital beyond their own, they do have first picks in the top half of the first round of a very good draft class this year, and they control all of their future first round picks as of right now. Plus, way to go, AK, some extra second round picks thrown in there as well. So that's what he inherited, and I think it's a good starting point, but it's not a great starting point because you still have the unanswered question of who's your franchise player.
Right.
I know some Bulls fans want that answer to be Josh Giddey. I vehemently disagree.
Who's on that? Who's still on that?
I hope nobody's on that. Drop that bus immediately.
Hey, y'all gonna sit here and tell me I'm crazy for saying that some Bulls fans feel that way?
Peck, we have on Discord, man. We have an entire group of guys that call it the Giddey Committee. So anytime like you mention the Giddey Committee, our guys, shout out to Colt, like 5 niggas, they all pop up at the same time. It's a real, that ass, man.
They pop up like meerkats out of their hole. Like, is somebody saying anything bad about Josh Giddey right now?
Yeah, man.
Is somebody doubting Josh Giddey is a perennial All-NBA player right now? How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah.
The triple doubles. What are you doing?
That's how it goes, man.
But look, I mean, however you build your team, whether it's through acquiring that, star free agent, and honestly, rewind a few years, everybody panned Jalen Brunson as like the savior of the New York Knicks. Look what we have here now. Right. Are they going to hoist the Larry O'Brien in a few weeks? I don't think so. But hey, credit to Jalen Brunson and the Knicks for getting that far. There is also, can you come out on the winning side of trades where you're trading away a key player of your roster and bringing in an unknown, also speaking of the Knicks, Mikal Bridges, that was a big swing of a trade to make.
Right. OG was a trade.
Exactly. OG Anunoby, also a big trade. But to me, for a team like the Bulls in the situation they're in, your best shot at finding that franchise player is in the draft.
Yep.
And the higher you draft, the better. The better the odds are. I know they're the exceptions to the rule. Oh, Halliburton fell this far. Giannis fell this far. Jokic was a second rounder. I mean, we just learned who the all rookie first and second teams were a few days ago. 1, 2, 7, 9, 11. Oh, and 13 was in there too. And then, shout out to Maxime Reynaud, pick 42, rounding out those two classes of all rookie selections. The best players from last year's rookie class were the first dozen players taken. And I know it doesn't go every year, but by and large, numbers are numbers. And when it's your turn to pick is when it's your turn to pick. And it's good if it's your turn to pick sooner rather than later. That's where Bryson Graham and the Bulls are right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You see, shout out to Buzella's fans. So we were talking. We came across each other on Twitter. Yeah, we came across each other on Twitter, and I was like, yo, are you Buzella's fan from the CHEO chat? He was like, what up? So you got people out here meeting each other from the damn CHEO chat, dude.
There we go.
I told him to come in. Because you'd be in there tonight. So good to
Appreciate you, man.
He's cool as hell. He always got some great takes.
So it's interesting. How do you think the Knicks, and this is for the group, but Matt in particular, like, how do you think the Knicks are informing what the future of the East is, or is this a flash in the pan?
Well, I'll just say this quickly and then toss it to the group because I've already talked too much. No, if I'll give AK anything, it's that he wasn't totally wrong when he thought, as a bottom of the play-in tournament bracket team, hey, the East is wide open. Because I think, by and large, year by year, the East has been wide open.
Yeah.
From when LeBron left the Cavs to go to the Lakers, Jimmy's Heat went there twice somehow, and once including that bubble finals run in 2020 that nobody saw coming. And honestly, nobody saw Jimmy and the Heat making their way back to the finals in 23 when they lost to Denver. But that just tells you that if you're a team in the East, anything can happen. And I'm not trying to discredit what the Knicks have done. Their margin of victory in this insane winning streak on their way to their ticket to the final. Great. You could also make the argument fairly easily that the Knicks have had a cakewalk of a trip to the NBA Finals because the East is the East. So there's that.
Yeah. There's something compelling about the Knicks, though. You think about it. You got 3 players that have been teammates since they were teenagers. Maybe one. I think Hart's the oldest, so maybe he was a senior whenever Bridges and I think Bridges and Brunson are back-to-back years recruiting class at UConn, and then you've got OG, who's a Toronto Raptor. He was a Raptor when they won, and then Cat was the number 1 pick. Who had, he cut his teeth in Minnesota. So it's a really interesting team. It doesn't feel like that they're unbeatable, though. It feels like, Boston, if Tatum's healthy, they make a run. I mean, what do you guys think?
I mean, if I jump in here real fast, I'm with you, Joe. Like, I think this Knicks team is definitely I think they're better than we're giving them credit for. I think because they weren't popping off like crazy in the regular season and because they're in the East, a lot of people aren't giving them the props they deserve, but that starting 5 is a very good starting 5. Now, their bench is maybe a little bit weaker than some of the other teams in the playoffs. Sure. So maybe Thibs was right for playing all those guys all those minutes. But, when you have a team like that who's built around a heliocentric small guard, but you surround them with multiple big, long wing defenders, a 6'4" hyper-aggressive rebounder, grit guy in Josh Hart.
Right.
And a big man in Cat that can space the floor, can handle a little bit. Like, you've got something really cooking. And I've been thinking about it a lot because in the past 7 years, we've had 7 different NBA champions. And if you go down the list, every one of those championship teams is not built one way. And I think maybe
great point.
And I think a lot of people think you need to have one specific team construction to win. But if you go down the list, last year we had the Thunder, who had a heliocentric big guard surrounded by a bunch of elite defensive players with a secondary scoring wing, and they ran away with it. The year before, you've got two forwards in Boston who are controlling everything with a lot of shooting around them. The year before that, you've got Jokic and the Nuggets. The year before that, you have an off-ball small guard in Steph Curry who's being fed in a system by these other forwards with shooting and two-way play around him. Then you got Giannis in the Bucks, and then you got LeBron and AD back in the bubble. And then before that, you got the Raptors with Kawhi, which is, I think, one of the best built finals teams ever. But it just goes to show that you can really win in any way right now in the NBA. And there's been a lot of parity that backs that up. So, like, I'm not opposed for the Bulls. Like, if you want to take an A-Cuff at 5 or 4 and start building around that guy.
Oh, Lord.
If that's what you think, I'd like to see where it goes. That's not my personal take. I love it. Y'all know that.
Yeah, I know. I was about to say, wait, hold on.
I was going to ask that because when you talk about Jalen Brunson, I know when I was on the pod with Justin, shout out to Justin, I think I saw him in the chat, but he asked me like to give some comparisons for A-Cup, and I was trying to think of some nasty ones because I feel like so many of the comps you hear, Jalen Brunson, Jimmer. I said a nasty one. I said Raymond Felton for him just to say some nasty shit.
Oh my!
But like, right. So, but when we're being serious, though, like when you speak about the fact that Jalen Brunson is doing his thing on New York, do you think a guy like A-Cup could come in and replicate that same kind of success?
So all right, AD and Peck. All right, so here I have this theory, and I love where you went, Luke. So I have this theory, and it came out when Sam Smith was on with Justin, and he was talking about the difference between LeBron and Kobe and Michael. And he said, and Phil Jackson said that Kobe and Michael were finishers. And I was like, man, that's the perfect word. Because and that's what Caleb Williams is, right? Like he's a finisher, right? He, like we need him to be good in second and third quarters, but he finishes games. And so when you think about team construction, I think that there's always going to be a finisher or an alpha, however you want to classify it, Peck, but like, a number one guy for sure. And then you've got like a certified Robin, whether that's Chris Middleton. I guess Siakam would have been in the Raptors. There was, there's always a Robin. Obviously, Scottie Pippen is our Robin that we know. And then you've got Captain Chaos. You got Alex Caruso and you got Hart. And I think that what the Spurs are doing with Bryant, I think that's the goal with Bryant. So, like, if you think about this AD, you've got to have sort of like 3 guys that are leading your team in 3 different ways. And it feels like that is very telling for the Bulls because we don't even have we have like who is Giddey? I guess Giddey is like Giddey, like me and you, Peck, that's like I don't know, Luke Longley or somebody and like Modest is maybe Horace, maybe Modest could be Horace or something like that. But right, so there's this pecking order that you build sort of like with this three pieces. Like, what do you think about that, AD and Matt? And like, how does that feel when you look at the 3 best teams left in the finals?
I was muted, but I said no pun intended on that pecking order for you, Peck.
I mean, I put my metaphorical pen down, aka laptop keys, a while ago. I used to have a column called the pecking order. I need to bring it back. But also the name of that column where I just spew thousands of words of my thoughts on the Bulls was not my idea. Shout out to my old Bulls Outsiders pal, John Sabine. He said, you should have a column and you should call it the pecking order. But yeah, no, as far as that team construct, Joe, I think that there's a lot of truth to that in that you need that archetype of player for a championship team. Whether you're talking about the Nuggets and Joker, that's your closer. Jamal Murray, that's your Batman. Aaron Gordon, that's your chaos guy. That's your screw things up guy. That's your ace defensive player. Then MPJ, the role player. You go down the list of this Knicks starting 5, and they check all of those boxes as well. To me, the biggest question always is, who is your closer, and how freaking good is your closer? Because every time I have doubted Jalen Brunson in any capacity, and that's not like I've been a big Jalen Brunson skeptic. I've just said, like, can the Knicks win a championship if Jalen Brunson's their best player? And I've always said probably not. And while they are about to go play at least 2 games on the Madison Square Garden floor in the NBA Finals, I still think that when that series is over, I'll be right about that. And, Guilty, I saw that you were just talking about Bryson Graham's interview that he did, right after he got the job and did his intro presser with CHSN, talking about Michael aside, who are your favorite players all time, and he mentioned Allen Iverson. And dude, in the post MJ and Dynasty era, I was a huge Allen Iverson fan. It's the first non-Bulls jersey I ever bought was Allen Iverson's jersey because I was obsessed with his game. Allen Iverson made his way as the best player, the closer on his team to the NBA Finals one time. What happened in that series?
Right. Dog walked.
I'm saying, do I think so? If the conversation then focuses back on the upcoming NBA draft class, and we hear them, they're in our live chat every show, every day. A-Cuff is a game changer. And I'm like, cool. Can he be that good where he is a generational unicorn talent of a scoring guard that he can be the central focus piece of a team that goes deep in the playoffs and maybe wins a title? I have my doubts on that when you also couple with it the questions on the defensive end. And, oh, dear God, are you thinking about pairing with Josh Giddey in your backcourt? Run for the hills. Run for the hills.
Defensively.
Like, and that's the other thing that I think the playoffs teach us, as you were asking that question earlier, Joe. Regular season NBA basketball and playoff basketball are two completely different beasts.
Absolutely.
When you go to the playoffs, all of a sudden, there's a second side of the basketball, and defense matters. Defense does not matter in regular season NBA basketball. At all. As much as some might argue that it does not. So, one of the biggest reasons why I've been a Josh Giddey skeptic the whole time and just not loving the idea of building a team around him, good coaches and good talented teams with length and quality defensive players can mess up what you do and like to do well in the regular season running your offense. Absolutely. And whether you're talking about an undersized guard or a guard with defensive deficiencies or both, that to me is always a red flag when you're talking about building the guy. Who is that guy on your team?
Right.
Well,
AD, do you think that Wilson could be that guy?
I think so. So, like a couple of things I took away from what,
now, you're gonna have to get some comps on who you feel like, because him being that guy at the 4 means he is the equivalent. He's not Mobley, right? He would have to be like a KG Stoudemire type.
So when I watch him, the way his role in college, I don't want to make this comp because this comp has been made before. But what I've seen, the way they had him play in college was the way the Bucks have Giannis play. Does that mean he's going to be Giannis? No, I don't want to put that pressure on him. Does that mean we're going to let him have the Giannis role? No, but that's sort of the way he played, where he was sort of able to like play 5 out, drive in, kick out what he needed to, have a couple mid-ranges. Like that's the comp I see. Like, because he would just grab the rim every time. You knew he was going there. And that's just the way Giannis plays. And that's just not the way we see a lot of 4s play now. I think a more like reserved comp, a more safer would be like Aaron Gordon. I think that's something I'm more comfortable with. But
I hope that's his floor.
I do too. But going back to like the playoffs and what the margin where the Bulls are at and where someone like the Knicks are at, you do need the finisher. You do need them, right? There's the problem with Giddey. How many ways can you put the ball in the bucket? How many ways can you do that? He can't do it that, man. That the clip of him in the lab.
I like that question.
The clip of him in the lab.
You are the point guard. Why are you looking down at your hand? And for those people, the retort would be, well, he was only getting one shot up. No, if you want to be the guy, that's what you told Sam Presti. You want to be the guy. You're going to have to do a bit more real life reps. That's just the way it is. You're in the pro leagues. You're in with the big boys. You got to do that. You spend most of the time with the ball in your hands. And why are you looking down at it? Dribbling like me.
Like Stanley from The Office?
Yes. I saw that. I got so worked up because I'm like, why? What am I looking at? It's how many ways can you put the ball in the basket? How many, like, if you have a couple, like 1 or 2 ways, then you better be unstoppable doing that.
Yeah.
Let me connect AD and Peck here for a second.
Right.
I like what you're saying, AD, about the finisher needs to have multiple ways to put the ball in the basket, especially down the stretch of close games. And I think when you look at a prospect comparison, like, for example, the choice that we will likely have where it's Caleb or Acuff. And I want to preface this by saying I am the biggest Caleb Wilson fan.
Yeah.
Yes.
You and me both.
Yeah. I love this kid. But at the end of the day, like, Acuff right now can probably put the ball in the basket in a lot more ways than Caleb Wilson can. And it's not to say that Caleb can't develop an outside game or develop more of an on-ball game. That's just not his current game right now. And to Matt's point about like Brunson and AI, like, yeah, like AI got there and his team got swept, but like he was going up against 2 top 10 players of all time. And so, like, like, it's, you got to have the team. And I think the same thing with
Dikembe Mutombo and Aaron McKee.
Yeah, like you got to have the team. And I think with the Knicks too, like,
hey,
they're
don't you sell Eric Snow short. Hey man, come on.
Hey, funny story. I'll send y'all a picture. I got kicked out of Eric Snow in Allen Iverson's hotel room when I was a kid. So my dad was cutting the hair. My dad was cutting the hair for the players, and I went into Allen Iverson's room, and before my dad could even get to him, I just started touching all like his shit on his desk. He was like, "Hey man, tell little man stop touching that stuff." And I was like, "What is this doing? What is this doing?" He said. Next thing I knew, my dad said, "Hey, come on, son, we got to get out." Then we go to Eric Snow's room, which we were in for like a lot longer. It was like an hour long. I'm watching Stuart Little that night. I'll never forget it. Eric Snow, shout out to you, man. He had a chick over there. I don't know what was going on, but I said to him, she kept saying, like, "Oh, like your son's so cute." To my dad, like, "Yeah, he's something. He all right." And then when she, when you're a little fat kid and shit, and pretty girl talking to you and shit, so she had to tell me I'm so cute. I'm like, "Are you his girlfriend?" And she said, "Yeah, Eric, am I your girlfriend?" Got kicked out twice.
Hopefully he's not like coaching. And he was like, hopefully he doesn't see this. And he's
hey, shout out to you, Eric Snow.
We got to get this to Eric Snow, man. We got to get
it. I'm gonna find him.
Does he have Twitter?
It's a crazy memory, man.
Oh, man. But anyways, my point was, and it's a question for AD and Peck here, but does how much help a guy need maybe change based on like their archetype? So maybe a small guard like an Iverson, like a Brunson, maybe they need more help than a dominant forward who's going to be the finisher for you, or a dominant big man like Wemby who's going to be the finisher for you. So are there maybe like different team comps or team builds that you two see when it comes to evaluating different archetypes of players like that?
Yeah, and Kurt, like you had a point earlier that I think is accurate, which is that there are different examples of different kinds of teams and the way that they're built and the players on those teams that have won championships in this recent stretch, where we've had a different championship, a different NBA champion now for the last 7 going on 8 years. And so it's not like everything has to fit into one exact specific box as far as player type, who's your 1, who's your 1B, who's your 2, who's your 2B. But I do think that over the span of the history of the league, it helps if the more that you can rely on your 1A player to do as many things for you on the floor as possible, for as many possessions, for as many minutes as possible. Again, on both ends of the floor. Right. Your clutch bucket getter and your defensive stopper. Shout out MJ. MVP and defensive player of the year in the same year, kind of stuff. Like, then maybe if you are a small guard archetype who can still, and I don't necessarily disagree with your point that if you throw Acuff onto an NBA roster right now, he can go get buckets in a lot of ways, a la like Bub Carrington, and not to say that that's what I think his ceiling is, but like that dude's a bucket. Go get buckets on this bad team. Yes, sir. Right away, boss. Will do. And then they do. But if you're talking about building an actual championship roster, I always would prefer to lean towards having my 1A be someone who is not someone who is going to get targeted every time down the floor in crunch time of a game 5 with the series tied 2-2. I think it just opens up a different Harden. Yeah, like, oh my God. Did you guys see those points per possession that New York got in the spanning the fourth quarter and OT of game 1? when they got Harden on a switch in a screen and roll or ISO situation, they were scoring at 1.98 points per possession. That number doesn't exist when you're talking about points per possession by like possession type. And exposable people get exposed, especially in the
comments. Peck. You see what he said? He said when they asked him in the press conference how he handled the loss, and he said, "Yeah, well, I know we got. I mean, this is an exact quote, damn near. I know we got dominated 4-0, but we the better team."
Did you see what Kenny Atkinson?
Kenny Atkinson talking about like, well, if you look at the analytics, we're up 2-1. We're not down 3-0. We're up 2-1.
What the fuck is happening?
I don't know what that was supposed to mean, but boy, did they get swept. Yeah, look, ideal world, I know. A lot of Bulls fans are like, Peck, you just want the Bulls to find their franchise player and for that franchise player to be one of the 10 best players in the league. And I'm like, yeah, because that's how you win. Because if you want to parcel out, okay, what player type is your second or third or fourth best player on this roster, and how deep is your bench? All those things matter. Does your team have one of the 10 best players in the league on it? Because if so, you got a shot to win the chip. And then the other parts of the roster and archetype and player type of those other supporting cast members matter way less. They matter way less. The higher up you get on the list of our best player is blank number best player in the league.
And
that's the part that matters the absolute most.
Right. Because essentially you can have any permutation you want off of you, whether it's Joker or it's Kawhi Leonard or it's Curry, right? Like it doesn't matter what sort of how the rest falls out when you already have that guy. What's interesting also about what you said is if you really think about it, since 1979, so 78 was the Washington Bullets with Wes Unseld, and 79 was the Supersonics with Dennis Johnson. And then you had for the next essentially 20 years, 40 years, except for one franchise, the Pistons. Every other team had essentially the best player in the league or the second best player in the league. Boston, LA, Jordan, Hakeem Olajuwon. I can make an argument that David Robinson and Tim Duncan essentially were top three players. So you really weren't seeing. I mean, even I think the Dirk's run, he was the best. He was a top three player. Wade, the first Wade championship, he turned into the second or third best player in the league. So there isn't really any precedent. And even with all of these 7 different champions, they all, Kawhi, all of them are top 5 players. So what's interesting?
LeBron, Giannis, Steph, Joker, Tatum, SGA.
Yeah.
Dylan,
first and second in MVP voter. Right.
So let me ask you
really
this:
Wemby.
Right. So let's talk about that. So the Spurs and OKC are actually my preference of build, and you can make an argument. So OKC, remember they took on Kemba Walker and they took on Al Horford and they got all these first round picks, and then now they did have the blessing of being able to trade Paul George and honestly, that helped them a ton. But point being, the Spurs and OKC collect assets, and I think the Spurs have the most, or the OKC has the most first round draft picks for the next 10 years.
10 years is crazy.
They have 3 first round picks this year.
What? I didn't know that.
Which is just insane.
Ridiculous.
So
Agreed.
Give me Jacob Portal and MPJ, or give me a bad contract and give me a first. So I would love to hear what you guys are thinking when it comes to that, because obviously New York has 4 trades and a free agent signing, with Brunson and then the other guys. The Spurs and OKC have taken a much different approach, and quite honestly, what we're seeing with the Pistons and Hornets is built through the draft. So I prefer that. Where are you guys at on versions of build?
Peck?
Me? Okay. Yeah, real quick. Joe, I'm with you. Like, I know Bulls fans have started throwing the names like Walker Kessler and Jalen Duren out there in the last couple of weeks, and like, ooh,
right.
Duren's playoff performance. Maybe we can get him for cheaper, or maybe we can overpay him a little bit because the Pistons are somehow now disillusioned with Jalen Duren's potential and NBA ceiling and already existing floor. Which, one bad playoff run or one bad playoff series, and the Pistons feel that way about him? I highly doubt that.
Correct.
So I know that the Bulls have this wiggle room with $50+ million in cap space to work with this offseason. And thanks and goodbye to all of you restricted free agents and cap hold players that are still hanging around using the Advocate Center weight room. You can leave when you're ready to leave. No, should they keep Colin Sexton? No, get out. For the love of God, Bryson Graham, I hope and I believe, based on some of the kind of veiled and not so veiled comments that he's made in his various interviews thus far since taking the job, is aware that what might be in the Bulls' best interest, where they are, and what he's in with, given what he's been inherited.
Yeah.
Say to all 29 teams, our phone lines are open.
Right.
Who has a contract that they don't want?
Correct.
And what are you willing to send to us with that contract?
Yes.
Start your plans there.
He talked about that in the presser. He literally talked about it was just one of the many things he said, but I know because I just wrote about the shit. So like he said, whether that means taking on a pick, like we are in a rebuild. And that was so refreshing to hear him finally, like somebody finally admit. I mean, you guys said on the show the same thing, but like just the transparency, dude, and like echoing back what we as fans have all been saying. Because I feel like for the longest time, we all in the fan base have kind of known what it is, but like you get attacked for speaking on the truth, because AK will go out there and say some bullshit. So just because AK is saying the bullshit, then it's like, well, then you're an idiot if you see the truth. So now we finally have somebody in the front office running the team who kind of thinks the same as we do for the most part, is that we are not as good as we think we are, but that's okay. And we're going to take time to now start getting better and doing things like taking on bad contracts to get picks because we're in a fucking rebuild. That's how you rebuild things.
Yeah.
Zach LaVine, welcome home.
I was about to ask you how you feel.
I can't do that.
Maybe what you got on?
I can't do
1 year. 1 year. Welcome home. 1 year.
I'll take Zach back for a year. I'm sorry, man.
1 year. The Kings are ran terribly. We're gonna get their 7th pick to take on that bad contract and give up like the 2nd round pick. Kings are a terrible organization. As far as I've been alive, they've been an embarrassment. We can fleece them.
I mean, I tell you what, shout out Bryson Graham. That Zach LaVine welcome home highlight package reel they play on the, that shit is going to slap because Zach LaVine has himself a highlight reel.
Hell yeah.
I need it.
Yeah. In all seriousness, though, I do think, like with the report that came out earlier this week that the Bulls checked in with the Wizards for number 1, I don't think that was them taking like a legit shot at being like, oh, we want to move up to 1. To me, that was just leaving no stone unturned. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting with BG right now, is that the process moving forward seems like it's going to be much better, whether it is taking on bad contracts for more assets or like checking in with everybody and just looking in at all these different options. And I do think, if you're going to make me watch Jakob Poeltl for a couple of years, I'm going to need 2 first-round picks at least. That seems fair enough to me. But hey, at least
that contract's so bad.
You won't be on the Raptors anymore. They might be a little bit more fun for me to watch.
Kurtz, you see, shout out to Buzella's fan. He said your guy Jimmy Butler. So we know you're a Jimmy Butler truther. So like, would you take Jimmy back for some capital?
Not at this moment in time, given that he is coming off that injury. And
wait, you wouldn't if they gave you a pick?
How many picks are we talking?
Pick 11.
If they just gave you 11.
They just gave you 11 to take
Jimmy and 11.
Oh, we're getting rid of Josh. We're getting rid of Josh. Oh yeah, sign me up.
Don't get so happy.
Let's go.
I was going to say, she said, if I have to watch Jakob Poeltl for a year or two, then maybe if I'm getting some picks for.
If I don't have to watch Giddey, I mean, hold on, we're good.
Who do I call for the fact that I had to watch Josh Giddey for the last 2 years and I have 0 draft picks to show for it? Who do I call about?
We got triple doubles, Matt. What are you talking about?
and there's 5 Carusos out there.
But
That's all
the
I've
shot
seen when
against
Alex
the
Caruso
Lakers.
gets a steal.
Oh
Dude,
my God.
He's in the lab, guys. Relax. He's in the lab.
Wait, so check it though. There's all the Twitter scuttlebutt about what if we take Ja, and I think even Sylvie.
I'm in on that.
Sylvie got super serious about. We could trade 4 and 3. You know, we could trade 4 and 3, and we could get Josh. We could get Ja. Now, is Ja got Jalen Brunson's second act in him, or is Ja done? Does Zion have that? Or are we looking at really truly cast-offs? Like, you know, truly like, because I actually think one of the things that's interesting about taking on these bad contracts is that the contending teams are in a really rough shape. Minnesota's in tough shape. Houston's in tough shape. They don't have draft capital, so the only thing that they could do is they could give a future pick to get cap space. And so there's a really good. So like when I said, hey, we could take Julius Randle for, I forgot what pick they have, and somebody's like, we don't need Julius Randle on the team. So I'm really interested. What kind of contracts are we talking? When you guys have you guys given any thought to that, AD or Matt?
Yeah, definitely just the nasty, where you get the most out of it. Like Jakob Poeltl's probably the worst contract in the league. He's about to make like $30 million per for the next like 3 seasons. You like that one? Like you could almost offer like P. Will back because that contract's so bad because he was just unplayable in the playoffs as a big, and that 30 million eats up a lot. So they need to.
Is it 30 or 22? Dang, is it 30?
27? Dang. Yeah, that's so nasty. That's I love it. I take it. Bring him here. Great locker room guy. Bring him here. 30 million.
So keep the bench warm. The 2 picks. Is that what you said, Kurtz? 2 firsts for Jacob?
If I got to watch Jakob Poeltl play basketball for 2 years, or no, I think it's 3 years. If I got to watch him play for 3 years, man, you might got to give me 2 firsts, like, 2 seconds. You might have to throw me like Grady Dick in there too. You know,
and I think that these contenders are going to be desperate with OKC and the Spurs. I think that they're going to be desperate.
Yeah. I think too. I like for Ja. Going back to the Ja point, is if Memphis is willing to sell him off as just a bad contract, I'd be willing to take him if they're just willing to do that. His contract's not that long,
like 38, or just Trey Jones Jr. or Trey Jones
for just Trey filler. Jones. If they're willing to just like try to get rid of him, wash their hands, I'd be willing to accept that contract. Maybe he does have a second act in him, but you can't. There's nothing in his resume, sadly, that proves that. So I'd be willing to accept it. Maybe give him a shot. He's gonna eventually play minutes, but like if they're willing to do that versus us giving up a pick, if we have to give up something, I'm cool. I'm cool.
So for me on the Ja thing, I talked about this when I was on the On Tap pod with Justin and Sal a couple weeks ago. Ja is 26, I think, and he only has 2 years left on his contract. I would full circle be all in on bringing Ja Morant to Chicago if it was treated like AD said, just a throwaway contract for them, and we could get him for cheap.
Just cap relief for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you look at a guy like Ja too, he's one of those players who's actually one of the better playmakers in the league. And if he was setting up guys like Buzelis and Caleb Wilson, maybe he would help those guys get a lot better. And I know AD's saying there's nothing in this guy's resume that says he's going to have a second act, but 2 years ago they were in the playoffs, and he was.
You're right.
They were a 47-win team out west, and he was the best player on that team. And I just think like he's still got some juice in him. And if you look, he's still got some juice in him. And I don't think the situation that you're taking on by bringing that guy in is that bad, because the out is in 2 years, and I don't think the Bulls are really competing anything within that time frame. So if you bring him in for 2 years and it's not going well, he's done after 2 years. He's gone. And best case scenario, you've got a really stud point guard who's good at making other players better that will help develop your other rookies while making the Bulls pretty fun to watch as well. So I wouldn't be opposed to Ja.
So I think that this, so like I have this theory, right? So like when I'm a single dad and like, like I got this thing saying, right, Jordan, like acceleration is bad. If you're trying to get married in the first date, like this is not a good thing. And so I think that that's true in a rebuild. Okay. So like if you're trying to get to the 10th spot in the nice spot in 2 years, that's acceleration, and acceleration feels bad. So the only thing I worry about with Ja Morant, or even like going to get Jimmy or you know, and like I can take bringing back Zach, because I know Zach wouldn't help us win. Like anything that sort of makes us
damn.
Right. I'm sorry, Zach. Much love, hey, like Jimmy will mess around. We'll sneak into the playoffs, and then now we pick at 20th.
And he'll motivate them boys all year.
I don't want picks outside of the top 15 for a couple years, and I think acceleration is bad. So I think that the kinds of contracts we take on, I hope that Bryson is sort of prudent in that. I don't. Where are you guys at on that? Like, are you hoping for the long play, Matt, Jordan?
Yeah.
Or are you looking for a short?
I think assuming this vote from the NBA Board of Governors on May 28th, which is 2 days from now, assuming that passes and the version of the NBA lottery reform rule changes that we were told through, the league and the media are accurate, then the place the Bulls want to be for, I would argue, the next 2 years.
Okay.
Not counting this year, the next 2 years after this year is
so
somewhere.
Not counting this coming season.
So no,
essentially the three next seasons.
So when those lottery reform rules go into effect, if they are indeed going into effect as soon as the 2027 NBA draft lottery, that year and the following year, I would argue where the Bulls want to be is somewhere between the 4th and 10th worst team in the league, because I still think they need a couple more first round high lottery pick bites at the apple to find out who their building blocks are. Because we don't know that Josh and or Modest are those building blocks right now as it stands. We don't know if picks 4 and 15 could be some of those building blocks right now. I do know that they are nowhere near being a team that can, like, let's shoot for it. No, you need multiple rounds of high lottery picks. And I know there's been talk about the 27 class being not as strong as this class. Doesn't matter. You want to draft the best talent possible for the next couple of years to help build your rebuild. So anything that gets in the way of that, I would be wary of. And to that end, and just to throw my 2 cents on that part of the combo, with as far as Ja, I think there are more viable, realistic options of who the Bulls could take in to maybe get an asset in return with that cap space. I think a lot of people who make decisions for the Bulls would not want that. I think it's so unlikely of even a hypothetical scenario. Bryson Graham just gets this job at one of the top 3 market NBA franchises that he worshipped as a kid, his first time in the big boss's chair in the biggest office. And he says, I'm going to roll these dice on Ja Morant. Not as a core of our championship piece, but I'm just going to roll the dice on him. Yeah. You think the Reinsdorf family, and look, I don't say any of this to disparage the effort that Ja Morant has put into repairing his image over the last few years, and I truly believe and hope that he has turned a corner in that regard. When's the last time we saw a Ja Morant headline that wasn't about basketball? It's been a minute, and credit to him for that. Is the risk zero that, Ja might get frustrated with his 9th straight loss as a veteran leader member of the Bulls and hit the club some night?
Right, he had Chirac too.
And I'm not saying I think that that's a likely outcome. I'm saying it is a non-zero possible outcome. And for that reason alone, the Reinsdorfs would say, no, thank you. We're dealing with all of our own PR, disasters. Hey, Jaden Ivey, what are you up to? We're dealing with all of this. And Bryson Graham saying, I just took this job. No one that's running things high up in this organization right now wants to go near Ja Morant with a 10-foot pole. That would be my educated guess.
Yeah.
Well said.
I think I'm somewhere in between both of you, where I get the vibe of not wanting to accelerate or rebuild, but I also don't think that you should be trying to manufacture a bottom 5 finish for the next 3 seasons or something like that. I think there should be a natural progression allowed, because we see teams all the time where they bring in a young player who outperforms expectations early, and they get better early. Like you look at a team like Orlando, who, they picked up Paolo. He was one of their top picks. And then a guy like Franz comes along and starts playing really well. And that team, as a young team, makes a leap. And maybe they're not in the best situation right now, but they're still a playoff team with two young players at the center of it that can still develop parts of their games and get better. So I think you want to find a good balance of maybe not forcing acceleration of a rebuild, but you also don't want to be holding the team back intentionally, because that creates a bad culture of losing that I don't think you want around a team. So I kind of see both of your points, though.
Yeah, and I think V-Dog is sort of – I see your comment, V-Dog. I think what we'd have in hindsight at the end of the LeBron, Steph Curry era, and it's the same thing that happened in the early 2000s. Like, all these guys come in. 95, KG comes in. 96, Kobe comes in. The 96 draft is incredible. Steve Nash, all these guys, Ray Allen. Vince Carter comes in. I think Vince Carter and Paul Pierce are 98. And they're not good. And the Lakers sort of run away with it, right? Like they run away with the West for the early 2000s with Shaq and Kobe. And then all of a sudden, like, Tim is good, right? Like, they won with David Robinson, but then, like, Tim's good. He wins again in 2003. And then I think –
And 5 and 7.
Right. And I think 4 was Heat, and 6 was who was the 6? The Mavericks?
Well, so 4 was Pistons.
4 was Pistons, 6 was Mavericks.
6 was Heat. Yeah.
6 was Heat.
6 was Heat, 8 was Mavericks. Yeah. So point being is that with the luxury of hindsight, we see that these teams we're in this transition phase where all these teams have built up talent. Detroit's got multiple, high-end talent. Houston's got a lot of front-end talent. Even Charlotte's got 3 really nice players, 1, 2, and 3. So I think that but the Spurs and the OKC are showing us that if you can't get, they have Jared McCain. Jared McCain is a top 15 player coming off the bench, cooking, with his nails painted, looking like Prince, asking people for pancakes. We need to take our time. We need to take our time. I just think that we firmly need to take our time because that's going to give us – it gives us the most runway to being something great. And that's sort of where I'm at with it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Who got the trophy between who Sam Presti fleeced more, AK or Daryl Morey on those trades? Like, seriously.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
What were you going to say, AD?
What was I going to say?
Oh shit!
That because I'm just laughing at that point now. He really
you're just bullying fucking AK and Daryl Morey. Like, please stop it, please.
He just has them both up. Give me your lunch money.
Can someone teach me how to block their phone number? I don't know how to block a phone number.
We need an AI in that. We need an AI. Sam Presti just going around punking fucking other GMs.
Oh, for real, man.
That's what he's my bitch. That was my bitch.
Oh God, man.
No, I remembered. Flexibility. You don't want to accelerate things because you want to be have the flexibility to pivot. If you look at Orlando, they've kind of boxed themselves in their corner because they have
too early.
Jalen Suggs is kind of he's not healthy enough. He's decent.
Great,
but he's not really. I'd be willing to move off of him, especially with Anthony Black progressing. Like, they boxed themselves into this corner now, and
Houston
it's kind of
Yep. Yeah. So it's interesting that you say it because you if you build with some young capital, right? Like all of a sudden you got Paolo and you got Wagner, and you're like, oh man, we're going to be really, really good. And then you're like, okay, let's go all in on Desmond Bane. And then and then in retrospect, you're like 4 first-round pick. I get what they were thinking. They maybe thought that Bane could have the impact Bridges had, but that's a really risky move. Houston goes all in on KD, or they don't go. I won't say they go all in, but they sell what they think is high on Green for KD, and that was not wise. And so I just think that if the Bulls were to take their time, I think that you could say, well, you've got Singay. It's an unknown. We'll just call him an unknown. He's a top 15 pick.
Yeah, he is though. Yeah,
you got 2 top 15 picks this year, and conceivably, if you help the right franchise this offseason, you could have 2 first-round picks next year. So then now you're at like 6 picks or 5 or 6 picks in a very short time. So the one question I had, sort of maybe pivoting a little bit, guys, is who are you all loving? I love Wilson and Carr. Like Carr is my like Carr and Mara are really what I would love to end up with at 15. But I see Wilson plugging in next to Buzelis, and Buzelis end up playing the 3. I love that. Even if Giddey stays, I think that shy slam and jammer could be super fun.
Yes.
But I love Carr. I love Carr's length. I love that Carr. He just reminds me so much of Jalen Williams. And I remember seeing Jalen Williams like, damn, he'll go 20s. He'll go 20s. And then I'm like, damn, we got Dalen Terry. And I'm like, how did that happen? So I'm just wondering. I don't want us to get a Dalen Terry, but where you all at on the 4-15 right now?
That's a crazy bar. Damn, we got
Dalen catching strays. Hey, Dalen Terry had to leave the Bulls to go to the second round of the playoffs. Let's not all forget that fact, okay?
Damn.
I'm with you, Joe. As far as that pick of 15, the more I heard about Cameron Carr, in addition to watching Cameron Carr, he might be the Cedric Howard of this draft class as far as the combine is concerned.
Yes.
And when you got a combo guard who only has that measurement in height, but over a 7-foot wingspan, and we were talking earlier about the Bulls and their backcourt defensive problems, sign me up. I don't know if he'll be on the board at 15 now. Like, he might rise that far.
He's out.
Another one of the biggest, draft combine I improved my stock guys was Morris Johnson Jr. A part of that championship team in Michigan, also played with the Illini.
Thornton product.
He may have boosted himself out of being on the board for the Bulls at 15. I don't think his teammate Adai Mara is going to be. There's maybe a chance.
So you think Johnson and Mara will go in the top 15? Yaxel?
I think there's a good chance that all 3 Michigan guys, those 2 and Yaxel, will all be off the board at 15.
Yeah, Yax
to me,
Yax going to OKC.
As great as he is, I just don't see him making sense as a Bryson Graham pick right now.
No.
Given the whole I'll be 24 years old my rookie year thing. The Bulls drafted Taj when he was 23 or 24, and shout out to him. He's still playing, but he was a complimentary piece on a team that already had its best player, its second best player, its third best player. The Bulls are not that right now. I know some Bulls fans are making the argument, what's wrong with taking Yaxel? Like, we got Josh, we got Modest, we got guys in their early 20s, and then we'll get guys in their late teens, their early 20s. He fits the timeline. No, he freaking doesn't. All right. If you're talking about contract, if you're talking about using a guy with the 15th overall pick, bingo, Kurtz. It's the second contract that you're talking about there. So with that, there are some of those names those are the names that you wish one of them falls to 15. And honestly, to me, by position, don't care. Even if you take Caleb Wilson with the 4th overall pick, if it is a power forward at that spot at 15 who's the best player and Bryson deems him to be the best player, you grab that player and you run. The one that I think is yes, you don't draft for need. Who you got? Who you got drafting for need right now?
Thinking about Miller and Asinghe and Buzelis, and I'm just like, I know, but I mean, think about it. I mean, it's
not a finger.
I agree that Noah is a question mark. You called him a question mark. He's a question mark. He's not a bust. Some Bulls fans have said the word bust with him, and I'm like, not so fast.
We haven't seen the guy play 10 minutes.
You can't call him a bust.
He's 19. He's 19, and we saw him for 6 minutes of garbage time. You can't. But I will say, what we do know about him, or at least what I would posture we do know about him, is that he is very much still a project in the making. Like, he is a mix of batter that is nowhere near close to the going into the oven yet. Like, that's where he is, which for the Bulls timeline now is fine. But if you start talking about drafting for position, we got to get one guard and one power forward, or one guard and our center of the future with these 2 first-round picks. I think you're fooling yourself and not looking at the big picture, which is that this Bulls team right now needs talent. I don't care what position they play.
That was a really good comment, Kelder. I'll give it to you. So do you see Johnson, by the way, as a center or like a Robert Williams, or you see him as a 4?
I see him in the NBA level potentially being what he proved he could be, at Mich, which was playing, both spots in the front court at various times. Between him, Mara, and Yaxel, Like they mixed a lot of different lineups with those 3 of those 5,
and
did so very efficiently, I thought, for large parts of the season and their entire tournament run. So the way that the NBA is going now, I think you can make use of him in either position. We also do know, by and large, right now, the trend is bigger. Bigger is better in the NBA.
Yes.
You think Hartenstein and Holmgren being, the biggest example of that right now, and that the Bulls have been sorely lacking in size in this last meandering 5 or 6 years of not winning and going nowhere. So I think they need that, and I think he could play both.
Javonte wasn't big enough at 4-4.
I mean, I tell you what, man. When Javonte Green is tasked with guarding Giannis every time the Bulls play the Bucks, like there's maybe something just a little bit wrong with your roster construction. Or hey, shout out to Alex Caruso guarding Wemby and doing so honestly, in a way that deserves at least a golf clap. He's trying hard. But yeah, so like the one name, I don't know how you guys feel, that to me is fascinating and I think could be on the board because of his recent injury question mark when you're talking about power forwards and bigs is Quaintance. Yeah. Because to me, he could be the biggest high risk, high reward player in that area of might be on the board at 15 right now. And it's like, man, I loved a lot of the tape on that kid, but it scares the crap out of me.
I've told the guys, I was like, let somebody else be right on him.
Yeah, he's a best kind of a guy for sure.
Because I just feel like 15, don't miss this year. Really, nail these. I don't know who put it in the Discord chat. Was it you, Luke? But they ran out, basically the last 25 years of picks. And several times we've had 2 picks in the first round. And I think most recently was the second pick was Chandler Hutchison. He was the second one of the first round. And so
promised to be drafted by the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
So I really feel strongly that I want them to nail it. Are you is that where you don't really care? Are you more take a big swing? I think Bart is big in taking a big swing.
Me?
No, Barton.
Oh, I mean, you want me to answer this for you?
Yeah, but please do.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so I'm kind of pretty much exactly in line with Peck here in terms of the way you have to go. You have to take best player available at 4 and at 15. And I think I'm kind of exactly in line with him too on the certain guys that I'm looking at. At 4, obviously, Caleb Wilson's my guy. We've been over this to death. 15, if Cam Carr is there, I'm running to the podium and turning that thing in. Because I think Cam Carr could be sort of imagine a Zach LaVine that can play defense at a high Zach LaVine that will contribute to winning. Imagine that being a thing. That would be fantastic to get at a pick 15. I think he's really got that in him because he is a freak athlete and he can shoot the hell out of the ball. So I'd like him a lot. But then I think the other way they would go too that I think would make a lot of sense at that 15 slot based on where a lot of the guys are on the board right now is to take a bite at the apple, I guess you could say, at a 5. And a guy like JQ is on my mind. Merez would be on my mind if he was on the board. I'm a big Chris Sanak guy.
I was just about to ask you, are you a big Chris Sanak guy or not? Yeah.
Huge Sanak guy. I loved what he did at Houston. I love what Kelvin.
I actually think he's underrated. I think he's undervalued.
Yeah, because he's doing the gritty work. He's not putting up the numbers, but he does all the gritty work. Kelvin Sampson is in love with that kid. And if that guy's speaking highly of you, that holds a lot of weight to me.
What about Steinbeck? How do you feel about Steinbeck?
Steinbeck is see, I think he's a really interesting piece, and I think he's definitely in that conversation. But for me, he's probably at the back end of that group. So I think for
that's
me,
too high at 15. You think?
I don't even think it's too high. It's just I like JQ, Sanak, Merez over Steinbeck. I still think Steinbeck could be a good NBA player.
I would agree with that. With again, just the red flag, risk on JQ as far as the injury goes. But as much as I like Hans Steinbach, I would have that same order. I would have him after those guys. If all of those guys are off the board, but he's there at 15 for the Bulls, I'd be thrilled about that.
Yeah, for sure.
There's this kid, Bobby Miller.
Hold on, Pet.
Go ahead. Sorry,
Jordan. No, you're good. Peck just has to get out of here in 5 minutes, so I just wanted to make sure. Honestly, this has been a great pod. We're gonna stay on for a little bit, guys. I know the OKC The Spurs game is on too, so we'll get to that. But any closing thoughts from you today, Peck? Just how you're feeling about the team. Like we said, man, you've seen the glory days, and pessimism didn't sound too pessimistic today on this pod. I mean, you were getting me juiced the whole time, dude. I had to fucking mute my mic half the time. I'm laughing so hard. So, like, how you feeling about the future of this team, man? And I saw B-Dog. He asked you if you had like any coaching candidates too that you liked.
Yeah. So for me, quickly to answer the coaching candidates question. I'm fine with them going young, hungry, first-time head coach. I think that fits with what the rest of the organization is doing right now and the rest of the pieces that have been put in place. So,
right.
Give me Sean Sweeney, hooray. Give me Dave Bliss, hooray. Chris Quinn, hooray. Start with those three names and then convince me if it's not one of those three names. That's kind of where I am right now with the coaching search. And then as far as just other general final thoughts, first of all, Guilty, as always, appreciate the invite, man, and the opportunity to come on and chop it up with you, and not only you, but some of the other wonderful members of our Bulls fan community. Kurtz, Joe, a pleasure. Alejandro, always holding it down. Love chatting with you guys. Hope to do it again soon.
Absolutely.
And that is, I think, my big takeaway of how I feel right now as a Bulls fan is that there is a lot more just not even optimism, but just like good vibes around the fan base right now. And we all, relief. I think, feel those good vibes. Most of us being self-aware enough to know that we still have a long road ahead of us, right? Like, we just won 31 games, and we're probably going to win fewer than that next year. And we're all like, let's go!
When was the last time that happened?
But see, to me, that's how I've felt for the last few years. I was like, if you send me as a fan to another goddamn play-in tournament, I am going to lose my freaking mind. And I almost did. I was about ready. When we were circling the drain there, and AK was like, here I am, still doing this job in late March. And he's talking about 9 to 10 good players. And,
man. Didn't it make you mad how safe he felt? Sir,
he was incredulous, man. He was incredulous.
Usually, I get pissed off when people are around me. I do construction, man. So, when I got dudes around me working and they're all nervous and shit, we get pissed off. We're like, yo, buck the fuck up, man. Get the job done. But opposite, I was kind of mad that he wasn't as nervous. No, fuck you. You need to be more nervous. Why are you not more showing more initiative? So I'm glad we got him up out of here.
And Reinsdorf's got to apply that pressure.
I was going to say, speaking of Reinsdorf, that's why I appreciated and felt it necessary for Michael to issue that formal and I believe to be heartfelt apology to Bulls fans.
He was sincere.
Because the reason AK held that job as long as he did while he was failing out the entire NBA world when they looked over at the Bulls were like, what are you idiots doing? And it's because Michael had whatever else on his mind and his line of sight that was not AK being AK and messing everything up over here. So Michael owed that apology to the fan base because he's the reason AK put Bryson Graham and this new regime in the hole that they're in and made Bulls fans look forward to a 9-10 play-in game for 4 years in a row. Are you kidding me? Yeah. It's outrageous, but because that is no longer the case, there is so much more positivity and good vibes in the fan base, and that is what I sorely missed. Not to say it went away entirely, but it was harder and harder to find. And when things got worse and worse and darker, that's when you see the infighting between different factions of the fan base. And this is the right way out of this hole. No, this is the right way out of this hole. It's like, can we all just acknowledge that we're in a freaking hole and maybe, a hope that we find a way out of this hole?
We're not that far off, though. Some would say they're not that. No, we're not in a hole. We're one crest over to reaching the mountaintop.
We just need to add one player to Zach LaVine. And just
Giddy is in the lab, guys. Giddy is in the lab. Dude, just wait.
You just need to add Walker Kessler or Jalen Duren to Modest and Josh, and you're basically there.
Oh man!
Oh,
but truly, I like that. That is what is reinvigorated me. I feel like I've got a shot in the arm from it, just because the chat of our show every day is lively. Faces, like familiar faces from the past who were like, "Yo, screw this team." They don't know what have come back. New fans or reinvigorated fans are finding these communal platforms and spaces. And to me, that is the best part about all of this. I'm crossing my fingers and hoping for the best moving forward, knowing that they have a long way to go. But in the meantime, how much greater and more enjoyable will it be for all of us to just be Bulls fans who can have exciting conversations and lively debates about draft pick this versus draft pick that, or how to use this cap space, or which coach do I want them to hire, in just a much healthier headspace. And that's what I'm honestly like most excited about right now.
Absolutely, Peck.
Matt, before you go, I forgot who it was. We were talking about Bloggable, and I remember like tracking Bloggable.
Oh, are you talking to Drew Stevens?
But the one thing I'll say is I remember when you came on, I think it was NBC. What was the show you were doing?
Bulls Outsiders, NBC Sports Chicago. Yeah.
And so
RIP.
Yes. So like the coolest part about this journey that we've all been on, from the Rose Butler Bulls to now, and really, you've helped to really shepherd some of this, is like, as fans, I don't think that we always had a real voice. And I want to give you real credit for like giving us like you were definitely at the forefront of even pushing Cowley and Cap, like all these guys that get on, they get online now, they get on YouTube now, they've got more voice. And I think you really were, you and Dave, back to Locked On Bulls. Y'all were like at the forefront of really pushing the fan voice, and I think it really mattered. And I think it matters in sports. And I just want to say, like much respect to that, because I think that passion, it's cool to sort of, hopefully we're having a kumbaya that like lasts into like some championships and some contention. But it is cool to have been on this journey for the last, 20 years or so around social media and all of that.
Yeah, and especially coming from an OG fan whose date of birth, precursor's mine. Mad respect to that, and I appreciate the love, man. I truly do. And I can honestly say the favorite part, whether I was doing Locked On back in the day, pre-Big Dave, with my guy Jordan Malley, shout out to him.
Yeah, Jordan.
An icon of the space. Or whether it was Locked On and we had a voicemail and text, like call in and text in line, we would do mailbag episodes from at least once a week, if not multiple times a week. Bulls Outsiders was live streaming on Facebook back when young people still were on Facebook, and having the live chat.
That show was so cool, bro.
The live chat feature on that show, and allowing to interact with Bulls fans in real time shortly after the conclusion of that night's Bulls game. All of those, all the way through now in CHGO, and the live chat of our, every live show that we do on our YouTube channel, and hanging out in our CHGO diehard Discord. Those conversations happening with any and all eager Bulls fans who want to join the conversation is, to me, and I think I can speak for Big Dave as well, that's always been the biggest and best part of what this is that we do. And the fact that some fans felt at various points that we gave them a voice truly means the world to us. We will always try our best to honor that and appreciate that and reflect that in the way that we carry ourselves and the way that we talk about this team. But just as importantly, the way that we invite other Bulls fans to join us in that conversation about this team that we all love so much.
Absolutely.
100.
Well, thank you so much, Peck. Hey, I just thought of something, man. You can't spell CHGO without OG. So, shout out to you, OG. I think you're officially becoming an OG of the community.
He is.
Like, hey, Peppers tells me a lot about.
He turns 42. Don't you turn 40 soon?
Hey, what?
You gave it up on one of your shows recently.
I think I recently mentioned when Bryson Graham got hired that he and I were both 39 years of age. And I was like, way to have a way more impressive career than mine, big guy. Way to go.
Hey.
But hey, I am not, because you ask Sir David Watson. You ask Sir David P. Watson what his birth date is, and then you can know who the true OG is.
Say less.
I thought Dave was younger than you. I thought Dave was like 30.
So did we. So did we all. So did we all. There are two truths there. One of them I won't say.
Oh, we're talking about Dave?
The other one is I get stressed about my sports teams way more than he does. So I wear it way worse than he does.
All right, so you can't throw any hats when we suck and we're tanking for 3 years.
No, throw the hats.
Hey, all I'm saying is if you start saying that you were around for the good old Bulls days, we're going to start assuming you're getting up there, all right? That's OG enough for us.
I mean, that's true.
I mean, all you got to do is do the math, y'all.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. That's awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much, Peck. Just thank you, man. Thank you. And
appreciate all the work you do, Peck.
Appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody in the space. We had Tim Sinclair on our show today. If you haven't caught it, go check it out.
Go check that out for sure.
We'll see you back on tomorrow at 4 with another live one. Appreciate y'all. Much love.
Have a good one,
bro.
Holy hell, that's too funny, man. Oh shit, hard.
Well,
how y'all doing, man?
Dude,
man, we're in a good spot.
Yeah, we were grooving a little bit there. That was awesome.
Oh yeah. Like, can I say something about Peck? Even though like he left, I've met him like twice in person. We didn't really talk much. He always had like great energy with him. It's like what you see is what you get, and I love that. I love that he's like, it's not just a show or an act. He's very much a people's person, and he's always been great. He's always been great, and it was just great having him on, being in the same space as him.
I agree.
Yeah, super infectious energy too. I feel like we were, I felt that hour we've been out an hour and 20. That didn't feel like anything.
I feel like it's been 20 minutes, man.
Yeah.
You know what's cool about the Roundtable is like you remember the NBA. Remember the session? The NBA TV had the thing where they would have the panel, and it was like all the OG players, and like Steve Kerr would be on there, and Grant Hill. Like that's what I feel like Chicago Bulls Roundtable is. It's like like we sit, we chill, and we just chop it up, like
just kicking it.
Yeah, like just chop it up with different folks and just talk about Bulls basketball, and it's cool because like I think it does say a lot whether you're in your 20s. And you're, but like, I think we got a couple of young cats on the Discord, like super young, like in the early 20s, and then we got we got people that are my age, in our 40s and 50s, and I think one of the coolest parts of the evolution of like the whole social media things, like when print went away, it was like, how do we talk to each other anymore? And like, and basically what we done in the Discord is it's cool to, like I said yesterday, we get to chop it up. And it's not really like, there's not a lot of immaturity or disrespect, but also like just that passion, like just having a voice, like it just gives us a voice, all of us, to just talk Bulls.
Absolutely. I agree, man. And if you guys are in the comments, if you're not in the Bulls HQ Discord, I see a couple new names. I put there's a widget up by OG Pep's head. Just go ahead and scan that. I think that's how I'm starting to like an old person now. I think you can scan it while you're watching.
Yes, it's a QR code. Scan it. Okay, you can hold it down too. I think you'll be able to pop up. Yes.
Jordan, I don't know how to get in.
Our resident IT guy.
Why doesn't my audio work?
Hey, we had that, man. Shout out to Ron. Old Ron in the chat. He just he joined I think either 3 weeks or a month ago. He's an awesome dude. But I remember he was like DMing me. He was trying to join for like a month. He was just like, so how do I do it? I'm like, damn it, Ron. I'm like, he clicked the link. Oh, and see, shout out to Alex. Alex, man, you got to come in. I talked to Alex maybe 6 months or so ago about it, and he said I don't do this. Man. I'm telling you, Alex, you're missing out.
Dude, you got to. You got to. Great time.
On in there.
You know what's cool is how are y'all feeling? So it feels like Wilson is consensus. I know somebody asked about Boozer. I mean, I really would prefer Wilson. Are y'all still there?
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah.
He said no way. Wait, can you hear us, Pat?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh wait! I thought you said, "Are we still where we want Wilson?"
I think we got to get.
Are you all still on the Wilson train?
I need Guilty to start spitting some game here a little bit. He's been just soking it all.
You know how I do.
You got to get the voice going, man. Let's go.
He's the mayor of the Discord now. He's
for sure, man.
He's shaking hands, he's like virtual handshaking and kissing babies virtually.
Don't start calling me Guilty St. Patrick, man. You feel
I feel like it was his voice, like, how's everybody doing today?
You feel me? But yeah, no, for sure, Kurtz. I would say, yeah, man. I'm at a point I think Wilson is obviously my preference, but truly, I'm not mad if we get any of the top four. If we get Boozer, all of those dudes, I feel like we're just gonna have great careers. I'd be more surprised if it didn't. Like when I was talking to Justin and Sal on their pod, like he was saying, what are the chances? Like on tap or totally crap that 5 of these people from this draft will, I think it was just go on to be an all-star at least once. And I'm like,
oh, for sure,
dude, I'm on tap. And he was like, yeah, it's hard to do. I'm like, dude, this class to me, I wouldn't say it's generational where there's one generational player, but I say this is probably one of the deepest, most talented drafts I've ever seen. Where there's no Wemby, there's no Cooper Flag, but there's multiple franchise changers all through the draft. And when you get past the top 10 in the lottery, there's still guys who will become damn near great players. There's all-stars outside of the lottery. I feel like Boozer for sure is going to make an all-star at least once in his career. Darren Peterson, come on, what are we talking about? The Benson, what are we talking about? Caleb, what are we talking about? That's just the top 4. You know, and then we talk about guys like Cam Carr, LeBaron Filan, Mikael Brown Jr. Like what? Yes, you know, like this draft is stacked. So yeah, man, it's hard to.
What did you think about the Discord? I don't know, AD. Luke, you might have chimed in a little bit. It was late, but I was asking. I know Michael and I were talking about it. I was asking if we should really consider trading Giddey and seeing if like Atlanta or OKC. I doubt OKC would, but maybe Golden State or even the Heat would bite on a Giddey for one of those top 15 picks. What do y'all think about that?
I don't think you're getting a top 15 pick for Giddey just because.
Damn. Think about that, bro.
It'd be great. Like I think
he could have got 2 firsts from the Kings, and we can't even get
a
top.
I would, in a heartbeat, trade Josh Giddey for a top 15 pick. But I just don't.
Easily.
I just don't think that there's like a team out there in this top 15 that's willing to take that risk. And I don't want to say a risk, but it's just like he changes so much about the way your team has to operate in both positive and negative ways that it's almost like if you're a team that's like borderline playoffs, like trying to make a push, like a team that would make a move like that, like it's not worth it to mess with what you kind of already got going to bring in a guy like Giddey who's going to need the ball a lot, who's going to alter the way you have to play defense, who's going to maybe change how you operate in the half court as well. So I just think it'd be hard to get a team to bite at that apple.
See, Alex said Alex said 15 and Giddey to move up. What do you think?
I don't, because I'm going down the list. Is 9 a good starting point with Dallas?
I think Dallas would consider 15 and Giddey.
Yeah, especially Giddey and 15 because you put Giddey with Cooper. I think Giddey could shine next to a dude like Cooper.
I think it depends on because
you can play Kyrie, Giddey, and Cooper at the same time. I think,
but that's kind of that's that range with those guards though. Like we've been talking about some of those guys like a Flemings or something like that.
Burries.
So, yeah,
like if Brown Jr. is there, I'd prefer him better contract. You don't really like you get 15. Right. Like, well, no, you don't get. So in the trade, it will be Giddey 15 for 9. I wouldn't do it. Like you.
Would you take Brown Jr. over Cam Carr?
Would I take Brown Jr.? Yeah.
Right now, yeah.
Offensively, yeah.
Then I don't know about that.
Yeah, right. I'm on the fence with that too.
That length matters.
I think Cam Carr's going to be a demon.
I think that they will both be good players, but it's the difference between like. I think Brown Jr.'s floor is Malik Monk.
Yeah. So for me, Cam Carr screams like he's going to be a guy that impacts winning on a good team for sure.
Yes.
But I don't think he's going to be a top 1 option on a good team. Yeah. And I think a guy like Mikael Brown at his peak.
You think Mikael, that's his ceiling?
Because he really is like an aggressive shot taker. He's like he's just got a different level of offense.
Do you see any Zach LaVine and Mikael Brown Jr.? Be real with me.
I see Zach LaVine and Cam Carr offensively.
No, but I think we're talking about like mentality-wise, Peck. Because I feel like Mikael's a lot more aggressive than
so that because not everybody shares the same thing with like I think that Zach had poor discernment. I think he was a poor decision maker. Yeah. And so like I wonder if Mikael Brown Jr. is a poor decision maker.
I think Mikael Brown is a better playmaker than a guy like Zach LaVine was. But I think they both have a similar tendency to take poor shots or like ill-advised shots.
Okay.
So maybe he's smarter in a passing way, but not in a shooting way.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I would love so 38. I really would love to get. There's a couple of bigs that are going to be there at 38.
I hope.
Reed.
Maybe
Visar might be there at 38. I don't think Baba Miller makes it to 38. I don't think Baba Miller Baba would be like Luigi. Somebody mentioned Luigi. I love Luigi. I think that he's a diamond in the rough. I think he's a Kalkbrenner, like a better version of Kalkbrenner. I forgot who mentioned Luigi in the chat. But yeah, so I appreciate the chat tonight though, boys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, AD has to bounce. I mean, I guess we'll close out after that. But AD, first time on the panel with us again, man. So, what's your closing thoughts? How you feeling about the season? How you feeling about like the direction we're going? How you feeling?
I'm very happy that we're in these conversations where you talk about a Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson, or even throwing like Atoff out there. I'm glad to have these. Like, these are good conversations.
Yeah,
like, just piggyback on what Peck was saying. We're here just the good vibes, good conversations. No idea right now. Well, not no idea, but majority of things being said aren't bad, and we're doing it in a great civil way. Everyone's like, feel like we're, as a fan base, as a family, we're just healing. And I couldn't ask for anything better. Like, just a great time.
Absolutely, man. Well said.
There we go, AD. Absolutely. We're pumped for what you got coming too. I know you and I talked about
I'm telling you, wait till y'all see that shit.
I got something else, Kurt. I'll tell you about it too. You too, Peppers. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. I'm gonna eat a little bit, then I'm gonna go back to work on it.
Oh, that boy ready to cook. Look at him. Look, he ready to cook. Let's go, man. You got our full support, man. You know how we rocking. Like, I think that's, you guys talk about the Discord. I think that's just like the coolest part about what we're doing here at the Roundtable. And the Discord is just like, man, we just got each other's back. I always tell guys, like, people keep saying, oh, he's a podcaster. I don't see myself as a podcaster. I'm just a dude that love to talk ball and get together with my guys each week and bring on different guests and just have a good time, and then we get to learn shit in the process too. But for real, man, that's just the whole motto, man. Like, the whole squad eat. You feel me?
Exactly.
Everybody eats. Everybody eats.
Yeah. Take care of the guy on your left and your right, man. So whatever you start, AD, we got you.
We're pushing that for sure.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you all. Like, I'm not one to just be closed-minded. I'm glad. I love hearing Peppers talk. I feel like, all right, yeah, lock in. It's always something very important. So I'm learning from all of you, and it's a beautiful thing. There's never enough that you can know, and I appreciate you all for that.
That's a fact.
Appreciate you, AD. Go enjoy the rest of your night, man.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Hey, you see? Hey, before you go, you see that Mon Sisovich or whatever is talking to Illinois, right?
Hey,
I have to look at it. I need to look at it. I haven't had time. I will.
He drew for the draft today, and he's talking to Illinois. So, if he goes to Illinois, that's huge.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, bet.
All right,
see you guys.
Oh. See you, AD.
Kurt's
Hold up, real quick before I don't know, you guys probably want to wrap this thing up, but we were talking about pick 38. Seeing a couple names in the chat, but one guy that I want you two to look at, a little homework for you guys, is
all right.
Nate Biddle from Oregon at 38.
I like him.
You've looked into him a little bit?
He feels a little Lachlan-like, though.
I haven't seen that person yet.
So this kid played center at Oregon. He's 22, I think, so he's a little bit older. But he's 7 feet tall. He's about 220, I think. He's got long arms.
What's his name? You share him in the Discord, Kurtz?
I'll drop something in there today.
I heard of this
Nate Biddle, and this kid he moves really well for a 7-footer.
He's active.
And he can shoot it a little bit too. And he's a guy that kind of like screams like, like get him a shot late round. I don't think he's an Ulbrich, because Ulbrich is like 6'7".
Ulbrich should have gone 60th pick. That was a terrible.
Ulbrich shouldn't have been drafted. He got drafted because he's boys with Giddy, man.
Fucking horrible. Thank you, man. Motherfuckers are trying to gaslight me all year. Look, it's okay to say a dude shouldn't be on my squad. Just because I say a motherfucker shouldn't be on my squad, it don't mean he's a bad kid. It don't mean that he can't hoop.
Right.
I just don't want to see that shit.
That's not a good decision. It wasn't a good decision.
As soon as I saw that damn haircut and that mustache, I was like, get the fuck out of here, man.
We literally picked him to put more commission money in Josh Giddey's agent's pocket so that we could get a little bit less for Josh Giddey. That's literally what that
man. Was. I feel like that's all those dudes were doing. Everything was about
that makes me feel gross, bro.
That's what it is, man.
But that's the thing about BG. It feel like we finna start getting hoopers, boys. We actually about to start getting some hoopers, and that gets me.
To your point, Jordan. Peep game. We pick in the 50s. I legitimately think that they could find.
Oh, for sure.
Like a gamer in the 50s.
Oh, for sure.
Like I want to believe that about BG until he proves me wrong.
You can tell.
Yes. That he'll fight. He'll be like, man, no, but this dude, he can hoop. Like Biddle at 50 something
would be big.
Like,
that'd be
sign
awesome.
me up for that.
Yeah,
I think that's the coolest thing about him too. Is like that's why I'm so hype about him. Because when we first got him, Pep, you were the one that was sharing his interviews. So I remember watching them because you shared them in the Discord. That's what got me so fucking excited. Is because you see the pride that he takes in his roots. He took pride in being a scout. He got that quiet cockiness too. So like when they interviewed him at the presser, someone said like, everyone hears that you got a reputation for being a good evaluator of talent. He said, yeah, nigga. In so many words. you feel me? Like I saw him, he was like, yeah, you can say that. But he takes pride in that, which gets me excited. Like we got a dude in there now that truly is a sicko about the game. We've been asking for that for so long. So to your point, I just have so much more fucking confidence now going into the draft, knowing that the dude in charge is watching these players as much as we are, if not way more than we are. And he's been watching them. And then he's bringing in dudes like AC Law, who also does the same shit, who's serious about development. I mean, one of the comments he made in that interview you shared, Pep, when he was, I think it's when he got promoted
when he got promoted in New Orleans.
Yeah, and so he talked about, they asked him like about the draft philosophy, and when he took Herb Jones, and he said, we just have a lot of confidence in picking guys because we believe in our player development staff. He places that first. He says, so we are blessed to be able to have the luxury of taking guys who may come into the NBA and they don't project well as shooters, but we believe in our player development staff, so we're able to take guys like that because we know that we'll turn them into shooters, and we can work with that because we believe in that development. Again, that gets me excited because already his draft resume tells you a lot, but it just shows us that we're going to have player development be at the forefront of everything now, man. Like he's going to build out a whole player development staff. I know he will. You know what I mean? So I'm truly excited. We had some dude join.
Look what Peter Patton is doing in New York. Josh Hart shooting like Steve Kerr.
Hold on. I'm not sure. Is he still in New York? I think he got let go, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought Josh Hart the other day said he was putting in work with Peter Patton.
Maybe, I could be very wrong about that. I mean, I should probably check that up. Okay, no, it says he's current shooting coach for the Knicks. He's still there.
But I just want to close out on that and just say though, like we had a dude come in the court. His name is like Stan Van Gundy, and he, yeah. But he came in spitting, y'all. He came in spitting. It was like yesterday or 2 days ago. But he said like he's a Pelicans fan, and so I like pinned it. I'll send it to you when we go back in the court. But like he said, man, y'all really got y'all on Bryson Graham.
Yeah,
and he was saying like we're gonna miss him so much. Please take care of him. And I said, dude, you know how good that is to feel to hear?
Yeah, that's dope.
Fan, because I feel like we're always getting guys.
That's what's up.
That when you go look at their fan bases where they come from, they're happy to get them out of there.
They're like, hey,
the first time we got somebody where the fans are like, man, dude, like we're jealous of you, but we love him so much that we can't even be mad. Just take care of our guy. We ain't never had that yet. The closest I got is Ben Johnson. Because when we got Ben Johnson for the Bears, Detroit fans were fucking pissed.
Yeah.
They were pissed. They were more so pissed because of how much they loved him. So they were talking like a scoring X. So I'm like, oh yeah, Ben Johnson must be cold. You had the Lions fans in there like, man, like whatever, man, fuck him. He's not even that cool anyway. We got us one.
Hey,
so with Bryson Graham, I feel like exactly with Bryson Graham, I really think we got us one, man. So
there we go.
I'm excited.
For sure.
I'm excited.
All right, so thanks for letting me drive, and I think one of the things that's gonna be super cool is seeing this finals, the East versus the West. I think it's gonna be super cool, and it'll be good. We got a couple shows coming up, so it'll be cool to have the conversations as we see what style is gonna win, the East or the West, and then which style is gonna win between the Spurs and OKC. So
I'm looking at the game and say they're winning by 9 right now. OKC.
Who is?
OKC up 58-49, 2 minutes left in the second quarter, so we all get to see the second half.
I was checking out the box score quick, man. Champagne's got 16 right now. I mean, that guy is just.
Their team is so cool.
Talk about
so cool, dude.
See, that's what I'm saying. Give me like were either of the twins drafted? Were either of those kids drafted?
I think they were like late.
Twins? I don't know.
They were
like late first.
Got to be late picks, man. There's no way those guys went undrafted, man.
No, I know Champagne was. I just remember that was another guy where you're like, why don't we ever get players like that?
You know how like those role players always go drop like 50 on us,
dude.
When is one of our role players about to do that to somebody?
It's coming now.
No,
Bryson Graham. I'm telling you, that's what Bryson Graham strives. What you call it? Thrives in.
I need us to find Bryce Sensabaugh, who's going to go give 40-5 to the Jazz instead of him giving 45 to us. You know?
I think
we always say. What'd you say, Pat?
I think Julian. I don't think he was drafted.
Oh damn! I thought his brother didn't get drafted. Oh
That's
fuck!
what I'm saying, bro. Like that's what when you say you're excited, Jordan. That's what I'm like looking at. Like that's the barometer of like, okay, this dude gets it. Like he's bringing in a 56 pick, and it's like some throwaway. It's like, Joe Peppers. Like, who the fuck is this guy? And then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, he's averaging 8 and 7.
Fuck.
You know
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Off the bench.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
That to me is like, if that's what it feels like. And I'll say this about Graham and Law.
Yeah.
They both hooped underneath the Jordan era. So like anybody who was like from a hooper, like in the Hoopers world, that was like close approximately to the Jordan era. Like, and Kobe was carrying the torch in the early, like hooping was so different then than it is now.
Right.
And you see that with Wemby. You see how OKC and the Spurs are playing. You see how hard they play. You see how the Knicks are playing. You see how hard they play. Like these are different levels of effort than we've ever seen from like a Levine Bulls team. We haven't seen that kind of team. So that's when you say I'm excited. That I want Bryson Graham to go get me a Herb Jones. Go get me a Daniels. Some goons. Yeah. The ones you can't take that they can't take your daughter out.
Exactly. Yeah. Keep the little away from my daughter kind of player for real, man. Yeah. No, you spitting, Pep.
All right, boys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about to say with them, I think that's a good way to close out. We'll be back on Sunday. Pep, you gonna be there on Sunday with us?
Yes, sir. I will.
That's gonna be a good show. And we'll have Mike
drafted. Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot you guys some stuff too, because we got Roger coming on Sunday, and I got some cool ideas for how we can, bounce it around a little bit too.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
I'm gonna reach out to him after the show. I was busy as hell today, like doing the article and shit. Yeah. But I'm gonna reach out and have him follow you when we get off the show tonight.
Appreciate it. No worries, boys. And you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Let's go Spurs.
Yeah, I'll see you boys in the Discord, man.
Absolutely.
And then thank you to the chat, man. It was popping.
You guys were great tonight, man. Electric.
Yeah. You guys are awesome. Always awesome.
Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. All right, boys. Well, hey, we'll see you guys on Sunday. Thank you so much.
All right, till next time. Later, boys.
Much love, man.
How cold is your heart for me?